When we first came to Germany, there was something that we noticed right off the bat that was extremely different, quite confusing, and still to this day is one of the things we've not been able to get used to here in Germany. And that is that TJ Maxx is called TK Maxx.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. This is my wife Aubrey and I am Donnie, and we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living here along with our travels here on this channel. While living in Germany, we have come across brands that look the exact same and in some cases are only called something one letter off of what we have in the US, and upon further inspection we discover it is the same company and product that has just chose to go by a different name in Germany. After discovering a few ourselves, we took to the internet to find out what other brands are we buying that we don't realize is a brand we know already, but just changed their name for foreign markets. Today we are going to dissect some of these funny and unusual brand breakdowns in our video. In the US we call it that, but in Germany we call it this.
By far, one of the most commonly discussed brand name differences in Germany and the US among Americans when they arrive here, mainly because you find it all over Germany and the US and in massive, huge letters on the stores, is TJ Maxx and TK Maxx. TJ Maxx is an American apparel company that was founded in the US in the 1970s. In the 1990s, they decided to expand their operations to Europe and specifically in Bristol, England. But what we read online was that in England, there was already a well-established retail chain known as TJ Hughes. To avoid confusion with this chain, they simply changed one single letter in their name and it became TK Maxx. With this change in England, it was carried over to other European nations, and that is what you find in Germany.
Before we get too far into this video, I want to say that just like TK Maxx, many of these are not just Germany specific, although a few are, and we have traveled around the world and have found many different brands that are one thing in one place and another name in another place. So leave your comments below of places you know of that call different brands by different names around the world, because we know we won't cover them all in this video. The second one that I noticed walking around our grocery store was when there was a very familiar bald man staring at me from across the aisle. And that was when it finally hit me that it was Mr. Clean. However, in Germany, you will not find this bald clean whiz under the name Mr. Clean. Instead, this is Meister Proper. Mr. Clean is an American brand of cleaning supplies that goes by many names around the world as they translated his name for the local language. However, I personally am a little bit confused by the translation chosen for Germany, but maybe some of our German viewers can weigh in on the choice, because the translation for Meister is more like champion or master, and the translation for Mr. would normally be Herr. And the German word Proper is translated as neat or tidy, but the German word sauber seems it would be more fitting for clean. I would think the real translation would be Herr Sauber, but maybe they went with what they did to keep it as close to the original as possible, with two M words at the beginning. However, at this point, if you put Meister Proper in a translator, you will just get Mr. Clean.
Now, let's say you take a walk down the grocery aisle and are looking for a soda, a pop, a Coke, or whatever you may call these sugary carbonated drinks, and you find the classic American brand that is known around the world, Coca-Cola. Everything will look pretty much the same unless you're looking for Diet Coke, because you will find that it doesn't exist in Germany. Now, it does exist, but just under a different name. Rather than Diet Coke, you will find Coca-Cola Light. A lot of Germans will call this either Coca-Cola or Cola, versus in the US where we often refer to it as Coke. But the biggest difference is diet versus light. In some online articles we have read that Germany has different legal requirements that have to back up the claim for something to be diet, and some articles say the name is changed because the word diet just has a completely different connotation to it in Germany than in the US, where it just means lighter in calories. Either way, you will not find Diet Coke in Germany.
Now, if we take a walk across the beauty section of the grocery store, we will find another brand name difference, and that is Olaz. Can you figure out what that would be? In the US, you will find this product and brand, but under the name Olay. Again, this is just a one-letter difference, but it is technically the same brand. Oil of Olay was a company founded in South Africa in 1952. After they experienced some years of success, they expanded globally and decided to change their name to sound more pleasing to whatever the local languages were. In German-speaking countries, as well as a few others in Europe, the name was adapted to Oil of Olaz. Finally, in 1999, the brand decided to unify their image by changing the global names to one single name, Olay. Except for they didn't. And they let some keep their unique names, including in German-speaking countries, where in 2010, they simplified the German name of the brand to just Olaz.
This next one was also one that we noticed pretty early on as we were trying to get established here in Germany and figure out phone plans. Take a look at this logo. What do you call this company? In the US, we always refer to this company as T-Mobile, but in Germany, you will always hear it referred to as Telekom. Now, the history and the corporate structure of this company is a little bit more confusing, and I am sure that some of you understand it better than we do. But from what we were reading online, it seems like Deutsches Telekom was the original parent company, and T-Mobile is the US company from this parent company, and Deutsches Telekom owns about 60% of the shares of US T-Mobile. Whatever the breakdown is, it was very difficult to get used to saying Telekom in Germany rather than calling it T-Mobile, because both are major, big, common companies in both countries, and their stores look identical in both places, but they are called two different things.
Now let's take a drive and try to fill up gas. In Germany, you will find Esso gas stations all over the country, and it is something you used to find in the US. Instead, in the US, you will find Exxon gas stations. Esso comes from the sound made from the first letter of both of the words in the original parent company's Standard Oil, S and O, Esso. There is somewhat of a long and complicated history of Standard Oil being broken up by the US government, then a new company, Exxon Mobil Corporation, coming along, and then an injunction in 1938 that restricted Exxon from using the trade name Esso in 15 states in the US, the negative connotations for people who somehow make the connection between Esso and the monopoly formerly known as Standard Oil in the US, and more. That leaves us with Esso stations in Germany and Exxon Mobil stations in the US. Before we get to one of the wildest and last brand mix-ups between Germany and the US, we just want to ask, if you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and also subscribe so you can keep up with all of our adventures and travels in Germany, because we would love to share them with you.
Now imagine you're sitting in a German beer garden and you order a Budweiser. Would you be confused if you got this bottle instead of this bottle? In Germany, the name Budweiser is owned by a Czech brewer, Budweiser Budvar, and therefore the American brewer Anheuser-Busch, which was founded in 1852 by two Germans who immigrated to the US, by the way, is barred from using it in Germany. So American Budweiser is sold simply under the brand Bud in Germany, and the Czech Budweiser is the beer known as Budweiser here in Germany. In German, Budweiser means something or someone coming from Budweis, which is in fact the name in German for the town in which the Czech brewery brews their Budweiser, hence the name. Fun fact, this is the Czech name for the town. I'm not even going to be able to pronounce that.
České Budějovice.
Brewing Budweiser apparently also has gone back all the way to the 13th century in this town, and they even started selling this Budweiser in the US in 1872 to 1873. According to Adolphus Busch, one of the German immigrants who started Anheuser-Busch, he wanted to brew a beer that was similar in quality, color, flavor, and taste to the beer then made at Budweis. and they began making this beer known as Budweiser in 1876. Since 1907, there has been a dispute of the rights of the brand name Budweiser in over 100 court cases that today gives us Bud in Germany and Budweiser in the US. You can also find what is Budweiser in Germany sold in the US as Czechvar.
If you think we are done, you are mistaken. We have some honorable mentions we didn't get to in the main part of the video that we will show you in just 1 second. But again, thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to let us know what brands you know of that go by different names in different places. We will see you in our next video.
Tschüss!
Before, and the German word proper is, and the German word proper, dang it. Okay, I've lost this one. We will see you in our next video.
Tschüss!
Oh gosh.
Olay.
I think it's Olaz, it could be Olay.
Wouldn't it be Olaz?
Olaz. Oh, maybe it is Olaz. Just Olay. Dang it!
Budweiser here in Germany. In German, Budweiser. You just need to redo all of your sections. TK Maxx!
Budweiser?
Budweiser!